so I'm going to do some ranked today. This will get me the ability to get some of this Battle of the Beast stuff in, so I can get whatever the hell the tokens are. Might take a few seconds for this. There we go. Cool. So that's locked in, so I can start doing some ranked. Rockin'. So we can start out with the Shikaku. She's excellent rockets, which is going to be great against DDs. Don't really have to worry about all the comet flags and all that silliness. So sure. So I don't know how long it's going to take us to zip through here. In bronze, it took us about 4 hours. I would like to play, hopefully, for a longer period of time today. So maybe if it's a little bit longer, more like 6 hours or something, if we get a really good success rate, we might be able to kind of blitz through. But at the very least, I'd like to get maybe halfway through, if nothing else. Hey, Diego. Hey, Giliax. Thank you very much for the sub with Prime. Thanks for the 7 months, dude. Yay. I'm seeing a few battleships, seeing a few DDs, not a shock. But at least there are a few carriers in queue, so we should be able to hopefully play pretty zippily. At least that's the goal. Instant Enterprise. Friesland's well protected, unless he just derps around with his A on and dies. Loyang is an interesting ship. And us being against Enterprise is actually pretty tough. With the 10 fighter consumable, it's not a joke.
Action station.
Autopilot mode enabled.
Also, I'm going to back up against because there's triple battleships, so there could be some long range fire. Well, to be fair though, how far out is this? Yeah, I don't know. This 12 clicks, that's 24. We'll back up a bit. It'll be okay. Bombers? What the fuck are there bombers? This just seems goofy. I think he's using this to scout because he expects them to be vaporized by the Friesland. Now, if the Loyang is able to get to the cap, don't turn out. They're bombers, you're fine. If the Friesland's able to get to the cap, he's got hydro and smoke, which means he can dominate it. But he needs to get to the cap. Bombard's gonna hurt, but we might be able to spot DD's heading over to C, maybe? The answer is no.
Destination reached.
Take torps for the Bard, I think. Neptune, Missouri's gonna be on top of each other. There's still gonna be stuff over here, which I might actually want to go for that instead. Also, I need to change my build. Maybe I don't, but... Friesland also has hydro, so I mean... Smoke hydro, they'll be able to claim dominance. Kitakazi Kiev do not. Missouri would be a good target, but he does have a Neptune. Bombard is hurt. Friesland should be able to murder some planes. Get hurt though. How much does he get chunked here? Some. An amount. There's that Neptune. So we do have a heal here. Oh, well, there's the Kiev too. Let's try to wait. There we go. Because I don't think I can go back in on the Neptune, Missouri, we're just going to swing through for the Pommern. Oh, he slammed on the brakes. Interesting. We can bomb that. I don't think I can bomb the Missouri, but I can definitely bomb that. Okay. Aegir Friesland Hydro is going to hold back on the Kitakazi, which is okay. We still have to play safe. CV hasn't come back to light us, but I mean, theoretically, the Missouri's got shots on us. I don't think I can bomb a Missouri. Not and expect citadels. Maybe. Maybe. Good, so the fighters helped a little bit. However, it's just on API bombers, which just don't matter. Might have to start working on this Kitakazi, actually, as the Aegir goes down soon. But first things first, let's try and get the radar off the table. Granted, the Neptune might also have radar, so that could also be a thing. Okay, Missouri goes down.
That's how it's done.
Jean Bart is pushing, but realistically he's going for the Friesland here. Yeah. This side's collapsing. He's not in smoke? Nice. Not over yet, bro. We're about to lose our DD. Maybe not. Yeah, well angled for that, which is good. Unfortunate. I don't know how long that smoke lasts. It's fine. Go out and we'll bomb the Pommern. Damn it. Wasn't that a bitch?
All stations reporting the position of a strategic target.
They can hold that. Kitakazi pushes. We should realistically be going with...
Fighter destroyed.
Autopilot mode enabled.
Okay, that's big. That's just a Kiev being wrapped. Loyang, FTG both have Hydro. Kiev's gonna have a hard time with that. Double Bard is okay. Kitakazi might YOLO. We'll drop a fighter just for spotting's sake.
Fighter airborne.
And I didn't want to do this, but with the Pommern taking that angle, that's going to be some resets. Which is not great, but it's something. Double Jean Bart, don't have to worry at all about an Enterprise. Like, this guy drops once and loses a bunch of planes. It's okay. Also, we can definitely start to move in, because the only threat to us is the Pommern. And it's unlikely he's going to take shots at us this far out.
Fighter destroyed.
We have an engine boost, we can be liberal with our boost. However, there is fucking fighter stuff, which shouldn't last forever. Cool. It's a bad line, but the fighter's there. Now the fighter fucks off. It's gonna give us another line to strike him.
Destination reached. Autopilot mode disabled.
And bombs will be able to catch that line. There's just too much health.
Enemy battleship foundered.
Kitakazi would have to death strike the ever-living crap out of stuff, and it's just not gonna
Autopilot
happen.
mode enabled.
So Kiev bails. Appreciable amounts of health. FTG mostly. Loyang no. Probably torps the Bart, but the Bart's backing up. So we'll do this. We'll kind of block both approach angles, and the Lo Yang or Kitakaze is dark. At least we see a Kiev. Eventually you're gonna stop shooting, right? Eventually there's something in the way. Yeah, 8 fighters for that. Not that it mattered very much, but he did. So now we have an Enterprise lit for 3 battleships to shoot at. So we'll drop this away from his
Destination reached. Autopilot mode disabled.
hull, so that it's not gonna the fighter consumable is not gonna eat the other fighter consumable, and all the battleships in the world are gonna be able to take shots. This is 4 seconds. Jesus. Okay. On the test server, the Shikaku only has a 2-second prep time. So this right here, this hard turn and then line setting, doesn't exist on the test server. I don't think I live long enough to take this shot. I don't. Well, not to have it matter.
Autopilot mode enabled.
Yeah, so that's going to keep the Enterprise lit until the Kiev shoots down the fighter.
Concentrate fire on the target.
Which for some reason he seems uninterested in doing. Now he's working on it. Bart get Rex by Torp.
Reporting the position of a strategic target.
He might burn out with the fire. We'll go on the Kiev. And I'll go in and cap.
Nice work.
I think he burns out with the fire. Alright, so that's done.
Our team has taken the lead.
We still have fighters that we could use to cover these guys, so I'll go ahead and do that. Drop a fighter for the Lo Yang or whatever, and then we'll go harass the Enterprise. Hey Yonkos, say Snake on me. Hello Humpy Bane. Hello Elo.
Provide anti-aircraft fire support.
Many joy feelings to you too as well, Humpy Bane.
Fighter airborne.
Everyone gets a Hydro.
That was a great battle.
Assume you cut out this way. Yeah.
Our victory is in sight.
So we can kind of heal through the fighter here, I think. So what, 4 planes? Possibly. If we get 2 torps into this and maybe some more shells, it'll be enough. There we go. He did. Hey, Midwatch Cowboy. What's up? Yeah, Shikaku on live, very different than the Shikaku on the test server. That 4 seconds of prep time is just huge. Like you can swing it in a circle and kind of think about life for a while. It's pretty sexy. Not a good night in Haku last night? Oh well, that's rough. What happened? Today you train CV on scenario battles. You're gonna reset the IJN CVs. It's a good line. I don't think there's anything we can Citadel with the rockets. I don't even know if we could Citadel the Enterprise. 4 battleships is a lot of battleships, so this is probably not a good pick, especially with just all the battleships happening right now. But we have Citadel pressure on the Pommern, probably the North Cal, maybe the Missouri. I think the Musashi is just too
Action station.
too damn strong.
All stations, proceed to capture that area.
I don't know who's gonna get it, but somebody needs to.
Affirmative.
Okay.
Fighter airborne.
Well, caused him a recall. So we'll get the spotting advantage, but he's going to take C before we do. Well, it depends on where the Oyster goes, really. Oyster might just be going to Alpha, which could certainly be a thing. He's going to drop another fighter. Plus the Enterprise is going that way. So the Yudlin does have smokes, which could be good.
Autopilot mode enabled.
Oyster did go to Charlie, so Alpha is kind of exposed. Kind of. Let's try to work on the Pommern. Pop the heel before they start priority sectoring and stuff. Oh, that's right.
Reached. Autopilot mode disabled.
Love you too. Kronstadt. See if we get Citadel, maybe the Kronstadt.
All stations, concentrate fire on the target.
Autopilot mode enabled.
Now with long-range battleships, we could be shelled down by the Musashi of the Missouri. So realistically, I should probably be moving. We might get dumpstered, we might not. Remains to be seen. But if they are taking long-range shots at us, then they're not taking long-range shots at our teammates,
Fighter airborne.
which is potentially a good thing. I don't know if I can go back in on that. So we're just not going to. But I could probably approach from the front using the island. Try to stay on the Kronstadt for now. Although they have double radar. Yudlin needs to use smoke and fall back.
Set a smoke screen.
Please smoke.
Set a smoke screen.
Why are you just leaving yourself spotted to be shot? Okay, you do you, buddy. Then 3.5, we can stick the line. We lost 2 planes for that. Does the continuous AA stop shooting the planes that already dropped, or do full damage to both groups after the drops? While you're in the middle of a drop animation, while the ordnance is falling, there's no damage applied to either squadron. Once the drop is finished and the camera is moved over to the other, once the drop is finished, the planes that dropped are now subject to AA as they leave. So they'll take some damage. And then, once the cameras return to the remaining player planes, those will also have their, those will also take damage. Slowly working them down.
Retreat now!
I don't know. This guy's playing a little ballsy. It's not dead though. That's good. Not dead yet. Alaska's not dead either. Kronstadt's been chiseled away at. We could break one of these lines. I mean, we could go in or do something, but right now it's just pretty tough. Musashi has terrible tastic AA. And this guy can't shoot anything? What the fuck are you doing, man? Marco's going wide for some shots.
Fighter airborne.
Sasha's got a fighter. We have to hold our heel for that. And again, we could also just bail, which is what we'll do. And the fighter shouldn't have enough time to latch. But it stopped the return trip. Now, if we get a few citadels here, we could probably take the Kronstadt. Plus, we have a heal on the way in. Missouri's still high health.
Attention. Reporting the target position.
Okay, fighter goes down. Musashi has terrible AA. It's working on the Marco Polo because it's available. Missouri is a problem. Wednesday morning at 5 o'clock. Go.
Enemy cruiser sunk. Off to a great start.
Start working on the Missouri now. So the Musashi is going to just be too hard to dislodge. The Alaska might be able to ram the Missouri. Unless he gets shot in the face. In that case, that's not going to matter. Just fucking battleships everywhere. We might be able to Citadel the Missouri, so we're going to have to wait for... we're going to have to wait for our bombs to come back. Try to work on that. Then it comes down to the Musashi. Pop the heel so we can try to get 2 strikes in on this. Because we just got to work this guy down. We're not going to do a lot of damage, as you can see there. We can aim for the nose. Oh, that's going to hurt. We can aim for the nose. We're going to get potentially some flood damage in, maybe. Blocked by the island for now. Musashi can overmatch the Missouri and just beat him in the face.
Destination reached.
Maybe we can take some damage here. Pull the guns off onto us.
Requesting fire on the designated target.
We might get dumpstered, but probably not. We will be lit by the Missouri shortly. Don't you let him fucking ram you. Don't you let him fucking ram you. Oh my god. So the Missouri's guns are okay, good. So now we have to somehow make the Musashi not murder our Musashi. CVR's running away. Mibra's looking for the kill. Marco's still fairly healthy. We have more ships than they do, which is good. So we dropped a fighter because the fighter might bait off. No, okay. So you get a flood, which is cool. We're gonna keep moving forward here. Jutland's trying to shadow the oyster, which is cool. And we're gonna start putting ourselves on the line to try to save the Musashi, because if it comes down to like what battleships, that might be a kill shot though. It is.
Fighter destroyed.
Let's try and get our health on the line here. Fuck you in this turn. it's not going to do anything. Come on, damn it. Realistically, didn't do that. Didn't lead that enough. It should be bombing the, okay, well, can't bomb the bomber now, so we're gonna keep trying to bait some shots into us. It's unlikely he citadels us, and he could beat the shit out of the battleships. So, you know, if he gets that whole, like, oh, I'm gonna kill the carrier kind of craze thing, you know, a little bloodlust in there, try to use that to our advantage. He wants to, but he's behind an island now, which is kind of funny. Cool, got a flood. Again with the fighter? Interesting. I think he damage caught the flood. So pretty sure we can't get citadels with this, but even pens are going to do damage. Another flood. That actually might take him out, which would be kind of cool. Stay angled to the Musashi. It's going to shoot us. Boom. So he got some oof, but it wasn't enough. And it pulled the damage off of
Enemy battleship foundered.
the other battleships and stuff. See me? Where the fuck are you going? In?
Fighter returning to ship.
What is your opinion of the Graf Zeppelin? That she's a really weird bag of gimmicks. That it's like a Swiss Army knife where just nothing is good enough. So some people are able to play it extremely well. I am not one of those people. I don't enjoy playing it very much. The torps are really good. The rockets are weird. The bombs are weird. The detection is horrible. It's just rough times. Hey, Rukiri. So for like 2 to 3 seconds, it's taking damage, double damage? I'll try and answer your question in a second, Namacide. Do you think the FDR will become an even stronger pick after the rocket changes go through? No. I don't think we can get citadels here. Just kind of throwing away planes at this point. I think this has spaced armor, so this should be... Ooh. Okay. So we can get citadels. No, the FDR is still going to be the FDR. I mean, the rockets weren't something that's used. The rockets at tier 10 were terrible to begin with. After the recent broadside reticle nerf of 7 to 9 months ago. So I don't think that's going to be... I don't think that's a big difference. And drop another fighter, keep them lit. AA is probably up to 6 clicks. And he's turning, so he turns faster than we move. Which means it's unlikely we get the get a good shot in here. But we are throwing away a lot of planes, so... Too low. Yeah.
Waypoint reached.
British carriers more viable after rocket changes. They'll be the strongest anti-destroyer rockets, but just CVDD interactions are being pulled away from. So if you're trying to, like, don't try to climb a mountain with a toothpick. You know, use a mountain climbing pick. Use the thing for what it's intended. It's not about trying to, like, figure out, well, how can I make this car that's broken in half somehow drive again with only half a car? Just don't waste your time. Just use what you got. I mean, I'm in a German carrier. I'm not amazing against destroyers. I just played a match. There was a destroyer. We weren't going after it. We went after other stuff. I'm really happy that we actually got an appreciable amount of damage. How did I drop the fighter consumable at a distant spot far from your planes? That didn't happen. You drop it here, and it shows up, and then it appears and goes to wherever you dropped it.
Fighter airborne.
I didn't... You might be thinking of like where the plane spawns. So fighters on top of us. Daka Daka. Late on the heel. But we would have gotten a second drop. Are the Shikaku AP bombers really bad at dodging flak? Japanese stuff is not very maneuverable, so it's absolutely possible for you to coast into flak and take damage. Okay, so there's a question in chat about when you shoot, do your plane, how does continuous damage affect your planes? So how does continuous damage work after you shoot? I'll do that. Whatever. Good enough. Okay, so if you've got your we'll just say easy numbers. If you've got your 9 planes, and you're flying in with your 9 planes, as you come through the, I'll just go ahead and mark this. As you come through the outer range, you're breaking into the mid range, eventually into the close range, AA, you know, you're taking some damage. You're going your attack run, whatever, you lose maybe 1 plane. So now you've got 8 planes here. And right about now is where you've finally taken your shot. So you fire, 3 planes have now shot, and we'll go through an attacking animation, so we'll put that as an A. And then the remaining 5 planes are going to keep on pushing through because they're not involved in the attack. So this firing happens during the rocket's movement from here to here, because we'll pretend these are rocket planes. This takes we're just going to say 1 second. At the end of this 1 second, this attacking group has now finished their animation and starts to climb to cloud cover. During this climb to cloud cover, they automatically start taking continuous AA damage. And they take whatever the continuous is. It doesn't get split across these planes and those planes. It's just full damage. They take continuous. And while they're climbing to cover, while they're bailing, the camera, which will signify as purple or whatever, this camera is going to catch up to the remaining planes, which are now, say, over here. So at this square, this camera starts to dart over and eventually catch up and then lock back in. And at this point, you start taking damage, you start taking AA damage again. So the AA starts here when the planes are recalling until they get to the cloud cover, in which case they're gone. And then the AA starts here where the camera is now over the shoulder again. If you skip this animation by left clicking after you've shot, the camera will go over to the remaining planes, and instead of maybe being over here, it might be here when you'll start taking AA damage again, because in order for you to take AA damage, it's going to be that the camera is over your shoulder with player controlled planes. As for these that have shot, you know, these have already been placed. Once they've been placed, they're going to do their little animation and then they're vulnerable to AA. Similarly, if you dropped a fighter consumable, the fighter consumable might be down here. As soon as they show up, they have been placed. And because they are placed, they are vulnerable to AA immediately. So if you see a fighter consumable coming down and it's within the AA range, it's going to start chiseling off planes until they're either dead or they get out of the AA range, in which case they just do whatever they do. So this should hopefully answer that question. It's a nifty raid, rawr! Well, thank you very much for the raid, sir. John AI, thank you for the 4 months, dude. Seems like you take double AA when you skip the animation. Yeah, if you skip the animation, you're skipping out of the immunity window, which means you're going to reload faster because you start your reload clock a little sooner, but you're also reloading. So if this is the ship and you fire, your planes have the time of those rockets to fly over and past, which means they're getting away from that close range AA aura. When you skip the animation, say on the rockets, then you're skipping it, you're immediately cutting over to your planes, which are here directly above the ship, which means they're taking short, medium, long, they're taking all of that even sooner. What's the hotkey for the torpedo camera after release? You might be talking about the skip animation. So torpedo camera after release. Torpedo cam. Oh, you mean like in a surface ship? You want to like follow the torpedoes on the water or something? Yeah, you can't do that on planes. Especially after you drop the squad breaks into 2 squads and they're both in AA. Well, yeah, the planes that shoot, I showed you what they do, and then when they start to take A again, and then the player-controlled planes start to take A again when your camera catches up. Thalamus flak got much harder with the 10.1 patch. It just did. It got much harder. I'm okay with this, whatever. Sure. Yeah, you can skip the animation though. That's probably something to do while we wait a little bit. Let's do that. Are we already in a battle? We are not. What is skip animation? So if you have an enemy ship that you've decided to take a shot at, whatever, there's water. Skip animation means that when your planes come over in, and you've now clicked and you've started to shoot. Now you're going to have some rockets that are fired, say, from here going over to this, and during the duration of watching this, this is called an animation. So there's a bit of an animation delay while your camera, you know, your little camera box here, or whatever, is watching the animation go down. And eventually, you'll see it hit the hull, and then the camera will zoom forward to connect back up with your planes, at the remaining planes at a further distance down the way. Now, if you wanted to skip this, there's a little icon that shows up during where it has something like this. And it says skip. So what skip means is if you click this, rather than having this camera watch this interaction, it will instead just cancel out of it and zip over and reconnect with wherever your planes are, so you can continue moving on. But if you do this, once your camera is over your shoulder, the AA is going to be relevant again, which means you're going to start taking damage even sooner, as opposed to having that time to get a little further away from maybe the short range and out into the mid-range aura to reduce some of the damage you're going to take. Yes, the flak hitting you within 3.5 is a bitch. I don't remember the patch that came in, but it is critically obnoxious. Alright, well, we're in Enterprise in a 4DD match, so that's pretty cool. You had a 40-minute queue for gold quals? Ooh. That sounds like a lot. Friesland has good AA. The others do not. Alaska, Missouri, okay. We're against Akaga, which is not going to specialize against DDs, really. So he's probably going to go after that Palmer and Aegir.
General quarters. Teammate, I need your support.
We don't send 3 destroyers to B?
Support the allied target.
Anybody? Anybody care about this? No? Nope. Evidently not. Evidently this is a full lemming train. That's kind of obnoxious. All right. We can pull away from the Friesland. You'll speed boost in that. What? Talking about? No! Don't leave the cap until you cap it. What the fuck? Does he turn in? He does. Still has a little while until he caps. Some resets there. Yeah, whatever. Why the fuck are we doing this? Whatever. I mean, I suppose the Kaga can snipe me now, because he can just come in with twerps or some shit. God, ugh. Okay, sure. Extremely cool. We can try to catch the Kaga planes, because they're going to be coming for me. There's no reason for them not to. Force them over the Friesland Aegir. Yeah, they all get murdered. So we're gonna work on the Missouri. We have to keep slowly running because this whole flank just broke. He refighters, so we have to go for the Alaska. Actually, we don't. Missouri is going to run away from the fighter.
All stations, provide fire support.
So the Mogador probably kills the Terrible, but then dies?
All stations, provide fire support.
Shit. Terrible's down. I don't know what's going on here. Friesland's farming from smoke. Smoke's gonna last a while. We're completely zoned. Whatever. We'll drop that for spotting. In case maybe they try to come in on the back foot. Mog's dead. Missouri goes down soonish. I mean, he should just end up being lit on fire or something over and over again. And Kaga's gonna be able to reset some stuff. Friesland will help. Can strike the Alaska, maybe we'll spot something, because there's still like 3 destroyers that we don't know where the hell they are. Well, 2 actually. Yeah.
I need fire support.
Cool. Please aim.
I need fire support. Do not let the enemy take the area.
God damn it, this is fucking stupid. Missouri's gonna limp away. Do you have an idea where this is? Reset, maybe? No. Fucking. God damn fucking bullshit. God damn fucking stupid.
Requesting fire support. You're on your own.
Yeah, no shit.
All stations, concentrate fire on the target.
Whatever, at least we pulled them off into the middle of nowhere.
Fire on the target.
So, oh, it's okay, it's the Apollo. Got it. Whatever. At least we're pulling them off at the edge of the edge of the universe or some shit. Obnoxious. Why the fuck would...
The enemy team has taken the lead.
I have a feeling we saved our star here, but what a just... The amount of just... obnoxious off this is just... shocking.
The enemy team has taken the lead.
I don't think I can kill the Noostra Shimmy because he has like a Conqueror heal.
Problem solved, sir.
Our team depends upon you.
Just... So there's the zombie heal. It's too high. Pretty sure we save our star here. Because we did shitloads of destroyer damage, so I don't think that one's going to be in dispute. But it doesn't mean I can't be mad.
Fire alarm.
Just, oh. Obnoxious. Hopefully we actually get to play the match this time. Hello, Hillbilly Simmer. To be fair, the rest of your team fell apart and the DDs didn't have a lot more to do they need to do to win. Oh, no, the enemy DDs running me down was fine. That was a perfectly okay play. I mean, I drug them off to the corner of the map to pull them out of the game for a while, so I fully expected to die, in which case, you know, they'd have to then turn around and come all the way back down. They're gonna have to come all the way back to try to recap or something. So that's something that that's okay. The problem was like the Mogadors. I need planes. Why? You have whatever. I gave them planes. Thank you, sir. Dude, everybody's with you. Oh, okay. I'll turn on the afterburner and I'll outrun everyone else in the team so that I can get killed before they get here. What? Why? It's just, it was goofy. And then, of course, the full-on lemming train thing.
Action stations.
Taking a break from mowing the yard, you're almost 57 and a buzzard flew about 10 feet over my head and eyeballed me as you went by. Figured it was time for a break. Sounds like it might be a good time for a break. The Atlastas are cross-eyed, which is a little strange. I don't know what the ZF is doing, really. So we're going to do that. That'll kind of give him a wide area of coverage. That means he's going to go after the Fletcher here. But it's with rocket planes, so it won't be that bad. Pommern, Iowa. Pommern's not a threat. Iowa is potentially a threat. And that's one of the problems with the enhanced reactions. That should not have pulled, but because it spawned all the way over in the middle of the patrol zone, it did. So we will go ahead and redrop a fighter. He's going to screw with a Fletcher, but that's okay. That's going to cover that advance. Let's see if there's a DD here. Usually there will be. Otherwise we might maybe set a fire on the Alaska or something. There is! So we'll get over the island and block his AA, in which case we can swing back in soon. Okay, so we chiseled a fair amount off the Friesland. ZF6 might try to take the fight. Friesland is burning down some planes. Iowa's got some angle, but I mean, we're pretty buffered. The CV would really have to come for us out here or all the way out there if he wants to get a spot, get us lit. And our fighter's still holding, which is cool. Why do we see him? ZFS ZF6 doesn't have Hydro, I don't think. And fighter should latch. But he's dragging it over the Friesland, which makes sense. Friesland's defensive fire is down. Swing back over the island. And we can once again take a shot over the island, which won't be a great shot, but it will be something. And we'll just keep chiseling away at this, because
Get back.
now he's overcommitted, because it's triple versus one. They're trundling into position. They'll get there. Iowa will eventually do something. Yolo Emilio bailed. Fletcher is hopefully not going to die. Parzival Torps on the Z. Okay. Interesting choice, sir. See, again, like, the fighter spawns all the way down there, which just gets it mauled. Which, I have to admit, I'm not really a fan of. Alright, so we're losing all kinds of rocket planes here, which sucks, but at this point we've done 13,500 damage to a Friesland, so he's hurt. Our Z is also pretty fucked up. Z might go down because he's probably hydro radar out of existence. So we're gonna have to start working on what we can work on, and we might be able to bomb the Pommern. That might be a thing that we can do. Enemy CV is going to keep working this angle, which is understandable. Let's try to put this at least where it's semi-safe. And we'll try to work on the Iowa or something. Well, I could maybe work on the Pommern. Do I have a shot? If I force him forward, I do. And with the Iowa moving, I don't have a shot there. I shouldn't have popped the heel until we start eating shit from the Friesland. That'll cause him to pull forward. Which takes us away from the Friesland's AA. Eventually it takes us away from the Friesland's AA. Pommern AA is 5.2, so we can try for like a range drop maybe. And the Friesland opens up because Friesland. And we'll do a long range drop, see if we can fuck with them. Maybe we could bomb the Pommern. Bruh. There's nothing out there, bruh. Yolo Emilio's coming in. It's gonna kill the Musashi. Back up to 7 rocket planes. Z's playing safe, which is cool. Hopefully the YOLO doesn't die. Musashi's reversing, which is good. Oh, we got a flood. That's gonna stick. He dumped Torps. These planes are sluggish. Sucked. He's okay. But is he dead? He's not dead, but he's pretty fucked up. Alaska probably has shots into the Pommern. Come on, guys. We got 11 on the Pommern before. We might be able to do it again. Try to jump the flak. Might be a kill. Good.
Enemy battleship foundered.
Friesland's behind in Alaska. Alaska is the threat. Those are what, Pommern Torps? Let's work on the Alaska. We'll work on the Alaska. Iowa gets pinched. Good. Missouri's back from his vacation on the edge of nowhere. And we kind of have 2 DDs chipping in, which is good. And the enemy CV is not helping on this flank. So big hit there. Iowa goes down. We keep working on the Alaska. And if we can get this, the Friesland's gonna hop right back into a smoke screen. So we're not gonna be able to just like take him out. But really? Okay. Come on, come on, come on. Fuck. Alright, well. You juke the torps, why not turn back into him?
Enemy cruiser foundered. Our team has taken the lead.
I have to say that was a little silly. What do you think about the ZF6? I think I played it twice and I enjoyed playing it. Friesland will smoke back up, but this has resolved. I mean, there's a Drake somewhere, but yeah, it's not gonna matter. We have an engine boost. Friesland stays dark for a while. Cool.
Our victory is in sight.
What just happened to the Alaska? I torped him and he turned. He dodged two torps, and then he turned back into the two torps that he dodged. He just kept turning and the torps were still there, so he oh, I forgot these, and he went around and grabbed them back up. The Friesland and Alaska don't have torpedoes. Who torped them? The Pommern. Pommern has torpedoes. Was the steering jammed? I don't know. Probably just panic. Maybe. Yeah.
Sunken enemy aircraft carrier.
Stay with the Enterprise. I like having the fighter consumable. Because I've been using it so damn much. It just feels awkward not to have it. And this fighter actually matters, which is nice. Did I try entry with the rocket nerf? Am I allowed to cry? No, because there's no premiums on the test server. Although there was something that said maybe they'll be added later. So might be able to try the premiums at a different time. But realistically, all HE rockets have fallen into a pattern. So right now we have, well, once we take off with the rocket planes, probably 4-second prep time. And I would assume a 4-second lead time, just because it's a US ship. So most likely you will have, these will be like Enterprise rockets. Most likely it'll be like Enterprise rockets where it just has the HVAR lead, because effectively the Enterprise is similar to the Lexington. It has some differences, but it's kind of a Lexington with AP bombs. So for Steel, it's battles won, not rank achieved. Not everybody's going to rank out. So sometimes people just need X amount of wins to get the collectible Steel that's pre-rank out. And then if you get rank out, any uncollected Steel you just get at one time, and then you also get some more Steel or rank out. This probably gets shot down. Okay, Kitakazi. There should be a DD going to Charlie. Of course, there might not be. I mean, that certainly could be the case. ZF6 has a Jean Bart escorting. He should be okay. Okay. Plane's still getting shot. This will go down soon. We can drop a fighter consumable down here for spotting. I guess they're just not taking Charlie. It's like, we're good. Interesting decision. Well, I could stay down here for resets, but I figure these guys will probably just start resetting on their own, so... Oh, wait, there we go. He was waiting. Shoot center. Nope. I don't know where he is. Well, at least that makes me feel better, because I was kind of like, they just gonna not do this? Sonic Koenig, I actually have a video for you that I can link in a moment. Which was a collaboration that I did with Seven. Which will tell you everything you could want to know. You'll be able to see it, see how it interacts, back, forth, up, down, sideways. We talk about it, why it's happening, all sorts of stuff. Really want consumable mod. Oh my god, these planes are slow. Yep. George is gonna round the corner and get murdered. Because that's what Georges do.
Get back.
So if the Jetland trips across this dude, he's got a Georgia and a Musashi and a Jetland on top of him.
Get back.
He's dead. He smokes, but I mean, these guys are gonna get massive shots off on this guy. And I'm too far away to help. I guess he smoked though, so maybe he's got some hydro going and he can bail. Could be a thing. Don't want to lose the planes to the Lexington fighter, but they are bombers, and the bombers kind of suck, so it will be okay. Terrible damage. Okay, cool. So you saw the video? Awesome. Zuri might kill the buffalo. That'll light the Siegfried briefly. Try to Citadel this dude again. God damn it. Thank you. Fucking last minute turn. Do we get to drop it all? No. Ugh. Healing. Might get lucky with a good hit. These guys are just beating the shit out of each other. Buffalo's dead. Utland's trying to help. Kitakazi's still full health. Missouri is hurt, which is good. I need to know where the fuck this guy is. Come on. There he is. Turn, you sons of bitches. Turn, you shitty ass fucking planes. Whatever. Siegfried's dead. And so is the other thing. Whatever the hell that is. ZF6 is running. Might get out. I need to drop another fighter where the Kitakazi can't murder it. Interesting. Georgia probably jukes Torps there. Yeah, he does. What the shit was that? Okay. That was bizarre. Could try to work on the battleships, see if we can help these guys out. ZF6 is dead. Y'all got a fighter, please use it. Don't run out from... Cool. Musashi's the bigger threat. Georgia's the more approachable thing to attack. So I think that's what we have to go after. And again, the Georgia is bailing. So we can't, because I can't land shots on that. Jutland's gonna YOLO. Should be out of the George's AA range. He's broadsiding a Bart. Okay. Interesting. Is this... Where the hell are you going? Whatever. So this dude's interested in bullet sponging at Lexington for the next few minutes. But I mean, if it keeps the CV busy, we can work on this, I guess. However, there's still a lot over here to deal with. Jetling goes to back cap. That's cool. And I can't commit here. If we can get another flood on the Musashi, that would be cool. Pull him off the cap a little. Let's try to get the Jutland to smoke. Probably cuts in here, right? Can't see, can't shoot what I can't see. That might hit. For almost no damage. Come on, come on. I hope he makes it. I hope he does. Jetland with the hero move. I don't even know what to say, man. It's just painfully stupid. You can try to light fires on the Georgia. Did get a fire. Did he let it burn? He did. Fucking keep reversing. Stop fucking, no. You get this? You turn. Son of a bitch. Jetland might kill the Musashi. Wouldn't that be a laugh? Can't just bow us. We need to try to hit him from the side. Jetland's probably up here. Oh no, Jetland played correct.
Our team depends upon you. Our victory is in sight. Battle ends in 5 minutes.
What part of reverse do you just not fundamentally understand? Just, you know, just saying. Why can't I Citadel of Georgia? Because the AP bombers on the Enterprise are terrible. They're designed for cruisers and their reticle is huge. Not enough pen? Yeah, probably. They're really not good. I don't know how much you would need to kill the Georgia, the mechanics of it, but in general, the AP bombers on the Enterprise are not strong. They could Citadel cruisers, they can Citadel battleships that are extremely weak to aerial Citadel stuff like the German line, but ugh. That was frustrating. We could do this, sure. Good luck, Hillbilly Simmer. Well, I actually don't think the changes are a bad thing, Sonic Koenig. There is a section in that video kind of talking about philosophy of the concept, or sort of me and Seven talk about it. Personally, CVs are extremely accurate. So what are they doing? They're pulling some of the accuracy out. They're not doing it with a shitty reticle that's extremely inconsistent. They're doing it by making it a skill shot, where you have to lead the target by a significant amount of time. But that also means that the target can maneuver to avoid that lead. Friesland, Akazuki. Okay. Happy Monday, Poptiv.
General quarters.
Fighter airborne.
See if we get a reset at Charlie. You can drop a spotting fighter.
Fighter airborne.
So Akazuki should be around Charlie. He's gonna go for the resets. Or probably not gonna smoke, which means he's gonna lose some health. Oh, whiffed that. There we go.
Fighter airborne.
He is in Charlie. Are we gonna be able to see him? Probably not. Nope. Cool. Suppose we could take bombs for that. It's 3v2. This is a loss pattern.
All stations retreat.
It's 4v3.
Autopilot mode enabled.
Teammate, I need your support.
All forces, capture that area.
Don't kite out, dude. 3v2, come on.
Fighter airborne. Fighter destroyed.
Point. Come on. Work on the FTG or the Georgia? Yeah, bombs OP. Friesland smoking with the FTG. We're just gonna have to work on the Georgia. It's just what we have to do. Should be able to drop this twice. I don't know what the Richelieu is doing. Kind of playing a flex position. Let's pop that around 4 kilometers. There's the Akatsuki. Come on! Bombs in on that. Might have to go wide with this. Something like that. Tago might get clocked here. When did he take a bad trade?
All stations, proceed to capture that area.
Guys, come on. Move. Then 3.5. Kitakazi should kill the Akazuki. More health, higher tier. Cool. Let's go over to the FTG then.
Fighter airborne.
Kitakazi takes C. FTG seems awake. So if we can take the FTG, we did lose the Musashi, not a surprise, but the Friesland's kind of out of position. FTG is super low. Richelieu might be AFK, which is a little confusing. Kita takes C, points are in rough. Whatever. Atago's actually doing fucking great.
Destination reached. Autopilot mode disabled.
Eat shit here.
I think he is AFK.
Fighter airborne. Let's see where the Balti is. Maybe the Balti radared the Cossack? Wasn't quite sure as to why they were taking shots at him. There he is. Random. Okay, well the only thing that can cross map is going to be the Richelieu, so we can definitely move up. So now that we've got the 2 caps to 1, Richelieu's AFK, at least I assume he is, so we'll be okay. Fine, also fine. Yeah, eats torps and dies. Okay. Well, I mean, that seems kind of silly, but win's a win. Let's let the boost charge up. Block his view. Relight from the clouds? Nope. Spawned too far out.
Fighter airborne.
Why, hello there, Friesland. How are you doing today? Dead. Alright, well, I mean, too many people to not enough. This one's done. Anybody has any questions or something, you can go ahead and ask. We can fill a little time. Okay, Friesland smoked the Balti. Sure. What city? I live in Atlanta. Thanks for the good content. Well, thank you, Lord Haha. Super slow planes. Friesland smoke lasts probably another 30 to 40 seconds. Can pre-drop, catch a line on the Lexington, take a shot. Balti spotted. Might get clapped by the Atago. AP from that angle might citadel him. Best way to fight the FDR in clan battles? I have videos for that. I'll show them to you in a moment.
Destination reached. Autopilot mode disabled. Autopilot mode enabled.
So if we type compendium, it's going to take you to a forum post on the North American forums, which when we look at this, there's a whole bunch of stuff here. This is a guide on how to use the compendium, but it's basically what I'm just going to tell you now. You were talking about CVs and clan battles. So in this case, we would look for what is the FDR, anti-FDR positioning and AA usage, dealing with the FDR in clan battles, and how to fight or duel an FDR without the interceptor. So these 4 videos would be down here. What is it? Anti-FDR positioning, dealing with it. That's kind of a long form response. And then this is talking about if you don't want to use interceptor, how would it still work? So this is the compendium. which is a lesson post that organizes, it's a little over 100 lessons into one space. So you can find all that information there, or you can find it on the YouTube channel and just search, or potentially use the playlist system because there's just so much stuff. You have lessons up here, ranked seasons if you wanted to see it. You can see how I play against FDRs across multiple ranked seasons using fighter consumables once those were added. So there's a lot of information that's available. Yeah, there were a few people that had questions about that, so I did kind of a long form answer, which hopefully gives you the information you're looking for. And this is just an informal poll. I have to study now, thank you. Yeehaw. This is just an informal poll. If I'm doing a rank stream, I may end up doing like 30 battles or something over the course of 4 to 8 hours or something silly. If you would be like, oh, that is just infuriating and I would hate it. If I ran a 30-second ad after a game while waiting for the next game to start, would that just like drive you bananas, or would you be indifferent? Do you have any tips to get better in ranked? You're stuck in bronze 5 or number 5 bronze. Well, if you do replay reviews, you can redeem those for 20,000 channel points, or sometimes I just have days where I do replay reviews. Yeah, if you're subbed, you don't see ads, so there's that. But I do actually have, if you look at the compendium post, if you check this out real quick, there was in the introduction to CVs, this is a coaching session with somebody that's fairly new to CVs, and this is a coaching session for somebody in ranked. So it's not going to be tier 6, it's tier 10, but that might still give applicable concepts and ideas as to how to play ranked games. Do you feel like after every match is too frequent? Well, it's 30 seconds, so I mean, you hop back to port, you sit in queue, and I just figured it'd be basic.
Fighter airborne.
Did I hike up replay point cost? Yes. People have a lot of channel points. No, I figure if it's a 30-second ad, it's either one ad or 2 very short ones or something. But it's basically just the time to get back in queue.
All stations requesting fire on the designated target.
If he has isolated, we might be able to go for that. For American TV standards, that's nothing. Yeah, typically in terms of television, you get about 7 to 8 minutes of televised content for 2 minutes of ad time. So you'll get about 21 to 24 minutes of a show, and then the rest of that would be ad filler. It's like I've never really thought about it, never really figured if I care or not, but you know, I did apply to become a partner, so maybe it's something I should do. So the Nustra has this huge ass heal. It's gonna go dark soon. But I do have an idea. Why the hell do I see him? Oh, Friesland Hydro. Got it. Chiseled him for a little more.
Requesting support.
Normally the time between your matches are filled with good chatting and informative talks. Well, yes, that's true. If I had something to say or to have a chat or talk, then yeah, of course. I just meant, you know, when I'm kind of vibing out. Nothing real important's happening. That's more what I was looking at. The overturns, right? Wow, that sucked. Boat goes down. Shark jukes and dodges. We'll work on the Nustra again, which is kind of dumb because the Nustra has so much health. But he's the one that's looking to wrap right now. My ship is Nustra, and I'm here to say, yuck yuck. He will have another heal soon, which will kick him up to like 11 or 12,000. But Trarch's just taking all comers. Your point of contention is that Twitch ads are like the same two products? Yeah, that part does suck. If he pops a heal, which he just did, we don't get the kill unless we get pretty lucky. Well, he's pretty beat to shit. And then the Kitakazi is still remaining. I don't even know what's happening with all this stuff. I am detected by the Nustra? Probably.
Autopilot mode enabled.
It's fine, we'll just angle to that. Chungmu takes him. Because his heal is down, so he's dead. So there's a Kitakazi somewhere. I mean, what is this? You gonna fly across a Friesland? Doesn't make any sense. The aircraft selection of Wargaming is very weird. Yeah, I'm not a history buff, so I really don't know the specifics of what was used in what situations.
All stations requesting fire on the designated target.
Yeah, that's not going to matter too much.
Fighter airborne.
But we did drive them out, which means we take the center cap, so that's cool. These guys are all snuggled up in a support session, so that's not so cool. But we do have the ship lead now that their DDs have died. But you're one of the most interactive streamers anyway. Your content is so much appreciated that monetizing the content is still worthy. Well, thank you very much, Setharod. Yeah, somebody was saying, like, well, you could put the stuff in the compendium. You could put it behind a paywall, you know, like part of your Patreon or something. It's like, well, that's not really the goal. The goal was to get information out there because there are just a lot of people that don't know. And if I put it behind a paywall, well, then people don't have access to the information. So that wasn't what I wanted to do. This is going to be a tough nut to crack. And I have to step into the outside here because Talin is on the inside. But it is actually nice that, you know, if I'm derping around in a CV, there's long downtime between point A to point B, so I do have time to glance at chat. Which was something that was suggested to me, like, after maybe streaming for a day or two, because I didn't know how to interact with chat. And to be fair, it actually works out really well. We'll go for the Lepanto. Heal is too short. We get one, we might get a second. And we'll use that time to get out of the AA of the Alaska. We do get two, but we need 2 more drops to get in on this. The Alaska's about to start opening up. We're gonna hard turn out, try and get away from the Alaska's AA.
Autopilot mode disabled.
Maybe. We got a flood. That's actually pretty good. I think with the flood damage, if we can get a single torpedo in, it might be enough to do it. That's probably down. We can go to bomb the Alaska now. And we're blocking this ring, so he's not getting points off that. Dead.
Enemy battleship foundered.
You rock, you just get another prime sub, mate. Well, woot. Thank you very much for the prime sub. Yeah, I am fortunate that my audience is usually small enough or calm enough that chat doesn't like explode. Yeah, so the Kitakazi's dead. Kaga's dead too. Because 07 farm alarming. So Kaga's done.
Team has taken the lead.
And we'll just kind of... I guess we can only drop the Alaska once, really. Because of the carrier fighter. Or... oh, okay, maybe not. Drop the Alaska out there if he wants to smoke, which is exactly what he wants to do.
Fighter airborne.
Of course, we're not getting spotting damage for this. Somebody else is, so he is lit by something else. We're going to interact with the fighter coming in here. But because we're just going to drop right away, it doesn't actually have the time to latch. And Alaska's going to go down soon. Kaga killed this off. Concerning your compendium, how do you keep calm after receiving so much negative feedback from CV haters and into Razor? I would have felt personally attacked. I do feel personally attacked. So, if you were thinking, does he feel upset by this? The answer is yes. I'm a human, and having a whole bunch of people dogpiling me on a forum is a really shitty thing to experience. I've muted a lot of people. The Bandy guy is somebody in Europe who I don't know, who asked me a question once, and, you know, I took it in good faith. Like, he asked me a question, I didn't respond to him, and he expressed, you know, hey, I asked you a question in good faith, and I really was waiting for a response, and you didn't give me one, and that's so not cool. Oh, well, I'm sorry, let me go find your question. I went back, I found the question, and it was a really expansive one. And when you're talking on a forum, like, you only have what you write. So oftentimes people write in a few sentences and that's their response in a forum, which is not like, it's not enough to really envelop a topic, right? Well, he asked a pretty expansive question. So what I ended up doing is I spent the next day at work chewing on this question, thinking about it. How do I respond? What do I do? And I ended up giving a video response. I recorded a video that was probably about 2 to 2.5 hours long, talking about I think it was like, how is it that carriers can have initiative on destroyers or whatever, and talked about all that. It would be nice if I knew how to program. I even created a board game version of World of Warships, which I haven't worked out all the kinks to actually design or like finish the product, but I have a working understanding of how it would go. And I put all that out, to which he went, well, I'm not going to watch this video. Why don't you just tell me your answer? Well, that is my answer. It's a 2-hour answer. You asked a complex question. Well, you need to just give me, So again, like, I didn't know how to distill this. So I recorded him maybe an hour to an hour and a half response. It was slightly more condensed. I don't remember. This was a long time ago. And then he's like, well, if you're not going to answer me, then there's no point in interacting with you. And again, I took this kind of personal because it's like, bro, I just gave you 4 hours of my life trying to give you this information. I literally spent 2 days coming up with or trying to refine the ideas that I'm going to present to you. And you're just like going to pithily dismiss this bullshit or what? It's like, you know, it gets to a point where it's the go fuck yourself. You know, you don't want to deal with this anymore. So I will say he baited me into interactions that way. He was very effective at being an asshole like that. And yeah, so call it like I see it, he was being an asshole. As far as a Razor, I respect the hell out of the dude, but the guy is like living, it's like drinking acid. every time you're trying to talk to the guy, or every time you're trying to have an interaction with him, not just read what he's saying, because what he's saying will often have a lot of information in it, but to interact with him. It's like every time he writes a note on a dagger, and the only way that you can take in the note is when you impale it in yourself so that your body can pull the note in and you can think about it. So it's like, do you really want to stab yourself in the face every fucking time you're trying to deal with somebody just to get some form of information? And the answer is no. Can you watch this answer? Yeah, I'm sure it's still around. Let's see, I think I labeled it as forum response. This was initiative roles. So that was about initiative roles. As well, you can see this kind of making a grid to explain the game concept. And I think this is the other response. This was the hour-and-a-half one. So, I mean, it's a huge amount of information. It just is. But, I mean, he asked a complex question. I gave him my best attempt at a response, and for him to just, like, fuck you, you know? So, yeah, I've had him blocked for a long time. I still occasionally read his posts against my better judgment, and I blocked Eraser a while ago. But I still read his posts against my better judgment, and in the compendium, I attempted to interact with him, and I legit said, this is probably dumb, because this is just gonna go down some rabbit hole where you tell me how fucking terrible I am. But, what is the issue that you're talking about? Can you describe it in better detail? How can I help? And inevitably, you know, post in, he just goes on and gives me a paragraph or two about how terrible shit I am. With no example, no background, just, you did literally everything wrong. You are literally terrible at everything you do. Thanks, bud. Love you too. So, if he has an issue with something in the compendium, if he can relay it to someone else who can relay it to me, because I don't want to fucking listen to the dude anymore. But I blocked him. I've tried to make a pact with myself that I will never, ever look at any post that he says for the rest of fucking time. Because again, it's like, send it on a daggergram. Fuck it. Not interested.
Fighter airborne.
Hello, Paneermix. Report the post? I mean, I suppose maybe. But it's a forum, and unless somebody is egregiously obnoxious, they tend to kind of let it be. So... it just is what it is, man. I can't make this. Both planes... well, I guess we get to shoot with one plane. So we did get to do that. Double DD versus Sov DD. Kaga's gonna try and take chunks out of the Sov.
Fighter airborne.
Or he might go for me. Does he go for me? Ooh, he does. Nice.
Fighter airborne.
Autopilot mode enabled.
So the issue with the Kaga is he just has so many fucking planes. So we had to double up the fighter. But he did overlead. It's a Razor. It's EL2 Azer. Whatever. This Fletcher does seem to like his AA. As does the Kidda.
I need help.
fine. Friesland Kitakazi is too much AF for us to deal with. We do have to do something against this. The question is, how do we do something against this? We don't really have any support over here either. Do you feel CVs coming after the other CV are wasting resources? It's not a bad idea to go after a carrier. It's just, if you're going to do something, you have to finish what you start. Because if you don't kill the carrier is functionally unimpaired. It keeps pushing out planes. So if you're going to spend the time and the resources to go all the way over here to strike me, and then spend the time and the resources to come all the way over and strike me again, and then spend the time and the resources to come over and strike me all the way over again, like, you're committing to this 5 to 7 minute thing, assuming battleship shells don't come in and dunk me. That's where the problem comes in. Is like, if you want to do it, that's okay, but you gotta finish what you started. And that could be a long fucking process. It's just too much AA. I can't do anything with that. Let's try to work on the battleships. At least that's something I can strike.
Anti-aircraft fire support.
You're in smoke. You're fine. I could bow into this. So I can't stop that. Sov, whatever. Sov can't stop that. I guess we work on the FTG. FTG is slower healing than the Georgia, so this is going to be more something that we can interact with better. If he gets clothesline, that would be great. But those torps were not led enough. Maybe one? Took one. Our torps are very slow, so we have to lead pretty comfortably. Can we save that plane? We can. We're gonna pop the engine boost here. Swing around and see if we can finish this dude. Which we should be able to do. Next up's gonna be the Georgia. We still have torps for that. FTG is dead. We'll work on the Georgia now. Kitakazi's, well, Yugamo might get killed, maybe.
Off to a great start.
Let's try reversing right now, because we don't have to be off in the middle of nowhere. It's just we're getting pinched, we're getting potentially pinched. Yugamo has no way to fight this off. You!
Teammate, I need your support.
All stations, protect that target. Attention, support that target.
Help! I don't know, there's fucking DDs everywhere, man. Maybe ask one of the mods to delete comments. Disable comments. Basically, like, lock the thread. Well, when people are being douches, they're still bumping the thread, so it does kind of get the awareness out there, which is something, I guess. Fuck.
Do not let the enemy take the area. All stations, defend that area. Teammate, I need your support.
Out of your fucking smoke screen and go help B. Kitakazi Fletcher beaten up. Friesland Kitakazi is not a joke. We still have an Iowa. They don't have any battleships. Gotta have something dealing with this. Suppose I can start nosing into it, maybe? I mean, we have an advantage right now.
Fighter airborne.
Smoke goes down. Oh, 2 hits, kind of cool. Nice! Stuff's happening! Kitakazi is gonna smoke into the cap. Let's drop this in front of him. I'm not exactly sure how long his smoke is, but if he wants to push to keep the smoke going, at least we kind of slow the push a little. You got one of the tier 8 Dutch cruiser when you were... Why do they have more AA than a Des Moines? Because that's the Dutch cruiser's gimmick. Every ship line has like a concept, a gimmick to it. The US nation has floaty shells. That's a gimmick, but they have higher DPM, they have more output, they tend to have radar and other such consumables. They're armored, but not extremely armored. Maybe this torp. I think he's dead. So they're armored, but not extremely armored, which means that, you know, it's just kind of the national identity of what the ship does. Now the Dutch cruisers, their gimmick is that they're armored, which means they can exist like in a closer in space. So think of like the Alaska. The Alaska doesn't have tons and tons of armor. It's not a battleship, but she's an armored cruiser. I mean, she's not a joke. So because of that, she can move up and she can support, you know, the front line destroyers. She can support stuff in a way that other cruisers cannot, because a lot of cruisers are pretty squishy. If they move up, they just get shot and die. So you've got Dutch cruisers that are supposed to move in closer. Their guns aren't really long range. The guns aren't really good, or at least they're not supposed to be very good. And they have this little airstrike thingy, which again makes them want to be close, within 12 or 13 kilometers, so that they can drop their little airstrikey thing. Because airstrikey thing is fun, or at least probably is fun. I haven't played them. I'm probably going to be asked to comment enough on them that if I play them, I would be able to comment, so it's easier for me to just not play them and talk about whatever people are going to ask. Might be a kill. Nope.
Fighter airborne. Capture that area.
Okay, well, Friesland is down.
Affirmative.
Don't know what happened with this guy. Cool.
Enemy destroyer blown up.
So that finishes that. Once we get the second cap, we're secure. But having that armor, having the survivability, and then also having that AA suite means that if a destroyer is pushing up, he has somebody that's got a bullish amount of anti-air that can cover people as they move closer, to be able to support against CV strikes. So it's a support class, just like the Holland is. Holland isn't a gunboat that runs around killing people. It's not a torp boat that torps people all the time from every angle. It's a support class. It's got a well-rounded kit that allows it to do a lot of things, but it's beaten by other ships, and it has an amazing AA suite which allows it to cover not only itself, but teammates. So it just is what it is.
Fighter airborne.
Dutch cruisers are basically untouchable. I don't think it's worth panicking over. They're just designed to be used in a forward deployment.
Our victory is in sight.
Unpopular opinion for the forum, AA is getting stronger than it has to be. I don't know if it's stronger than it has to be, but it is getting stronger. I have to assume that the reason why why they didn't just like make the Worcester even stronger than it is already is because it already has a lot of strength. It has amazing guns. It's got the ability to kind of open water do stuff. Whereas, I think he's dead to the guns, yeah. Whereas if you introduce a new line and its specialty is AA, but it also has other traits and gimmicks and whatever, then you're creating a new class of ship. You're creating a new structure, new nationality thing, which is interesting.